Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live and A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their locations in the Bay Area, or you go online to nestbedding.com for your mattress, your pillows, your sheets, all your bedding needs. You go to nestbedding.com. In our nation's capital, Mark Kotsay, how are you?
I'm doing well, Tony. Appreciate it. Beautiful Friday. It's a little humid here, but another great day in the ballpark.
I know it's been a long season, so if you have a day off, I understand if people just want to rest, hang out, maybe get a workout in. But a great place to have a day off, DC, one of the great sightseeing places in our country. Did any of the guys get a chance to go out and experience the Capitol or to see anything in DC?
Yeah, our hotel's not far from the mall here. A lot of guys took that experience. They jumped on Lime scooters and bikes and rode around and took in, obviously these great sites and the history here in the Capitol. And, I know Mike McCarthy, one of our pitching coaches, went out last night. He got back and ran into me outside the hotel, had gone down to the Lincoln Memorial and just said, "Cots, it's just time for reflection." So
Yeah.
really cool opportunity here in Washington, D.C. to take the sights in and appreciate the history of our great country.
Yeah, you try and tell everybody. All the Smithsonian's are free. Most everything is free. So if you ever get a chance, go to D.C. and experience it and learn about your country. It is truly breathtaking in so many ways. And the Lincoln Memorial at night, wow, it's breathtaking. All right, let's get into some baseball because all the A's fans are fired up. You saw him in spring training. He started in spring training, and Lawrence Butler is finally here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's an exciting weekend for us as a franchise to be able to promote another young player in our system, a kid that was a high school draft that's worked really hard over the last 5 seasons to develop his game, to be able to get to this level. In spring training, he had an energy about him that was great. And like you said, he had a great camp. He left an impression on me, similar to, I think, if I reflect back on my career, what I was able to do in my first big league spring training with Jim Leland as the manager. And here he is. He's very well welcomed, and he's going to be able to go out and show us that he's a big league baseball player today.
Give me a scattering report what you've seen on him.
He's cut his strikeouts down. His walk rate's back up a little bit. He's definitely a dynamic player. He's got the tools that it takes. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He can take a good grinding at bat. Defensively, he's got speed. And that plays on the bases as well. And his arm plays in the outfield also. So, again, like I said, these young players that are coming here, it may take them time to get their feet on the ground. But, we're giving them that opportunity right now to go establish themselves and show us that they can be a part of our future.
It's one thing when you have guys that were in all these different trades and they come in and then they get brought up. I know you've spent a lot of time, more than probably any manager I've ever seen, talking to the minor leaguers and making sure you connect with them, making sure that you know them. What does it mean to the organization? What does it mean to you when you're bringing up these kids and you're bringing up kids that the team actually drafted and developed?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great sign. And that's a sign of progress for us as an organization. We went through this phase with Chapman, in his time here. And now we're seeing it with the Soderstrom, the Gelof, the Butler, Mason Miller, like you said, guys of our recent drafts that are starting to get here and hopefully make an impact.
You mentioned Gelof. I mean, the start so far, unbelievable. Fastest to 6 home runs. We've seen foul pole to foul pole power. The ability to make contact, go the other way consistently. He's a decent-sized kid playing second base with speed. You're watching him every day. Just, is there a comp for you, and what do you see in Zack Gelof?
Oh, that's a great question, Tony. I haven't really thought about a comp in a player for Zack. So kind of caught me off guard with that question. But, what do I see for Zack Gelof? I see, a player that, like you said, has a knack for the barrel, really. And the swing, it's a different swing, but he's able to manipulate the barrel, which a lot of young hitters can't do right now. And what I mean by that is get to every ball, even though it's not a one plane swing, though it looks like it. He's still able to get the barrel to a ball up and in right now, or down and away. Like you said, he's got oppo power, which is great. Any young player that can dominate the opposite field gap is going to have long-term success here, in my opinion. I watched Miguel Cabrera do it when he was, 16 or 18 years old, taking batting practice and really dominating the opposite field gap. And that's really what it takes to be successful at this level.
Yeah, everybody, I mean, he's been around so long. Everybody forgets about Skinny Miggy back in the day with the Marlins.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I was there for his first professional batting practice, that pro player, and I was on the team. I never forget. He walked out, and I think he was 16, maybe he was 17.
Yeah, I don't think he was 18 yet.
I don't believe he was. And this kid gets in the batting cage, and the first like 5 balls are line drives to right center. And I just remember looking at Derek Lee and going, how old's this kid? And it was real. And obviously it was real because he's a Hall of Famer. And that's kind of, the messaging, for young players is, learn how to dominate the opposite field, and pull power will happen. So.
And we just don't see that. I mean, it's like Chris Davis had that. Mike Piazza had that. Guys that have power and go the other way. We're just so used to all right-handed hitters just trying to hook everything and pull everything. I think about you as a hitter. You could go to all fields, but there's something about young right-handers. That's why Gelof is so impressive, because we don't see a lot of young right-handed hitters in modern-day baseball who have the ability just to consistently go to the right side.
Yeah, I mean, from day one, you saw the first hit that he had in an A's uniform was a ball that should have been a homer. It hit off the very tip of the top of the wall, right, and it was to the opposite field gap. So again, that's the direction that this kid, was able to accomplish and through the minor leagues and probably through his career. Just being able to hit the ball in the barrel is consistently is going to lead to success.
What have you seen so far with Tyler Soderstrom?
Tyler, I mean, Tyler's again, and I mentioned this, I think the very first time we talked about, Tyler coming here and the, pressure that was going to be on him as a 21-year-old prospect and a player that's been talked about so highly in our system, not just, amongst us as Oakland A's, or as an organization, but more national too. And, the job he has to do with catching, playing first, those in itself demand a lot of time, a lot of attention. And so then you have the hitting part. And from that standpoint, I knew Tyler, I think we talked about him being an aggressive hitter and a free swinger. And that's something we like about him. And that it was going to take time for him to, at this level, really hone in on the zone and eliminate some swing and miss that was there in the minor leagues. So I think that's what we're seeing. I don't feel like Tyler's lost confidence. I think Tyler understands that this is a level where your talent just doesn't allow you to have success. You've got to put a lot of work in and a lot of time studying and making the adjustments. And I think Tyler's capable of doing that.
Yeah, you did it, but you did it after an illustrious college career, man. You're the Golden Spikes Player of the Year. You've won the College World Series. He's doing it at a high school. So do you ever put your arm around him, talk to him about it? Because you've been there, done that. You know what it's like to come up and all of a sudden, what'd you say? Your first game was Kurt Schilling. I mean, all of a sudden you're facing some of the best guys in the big leagues, and you're probably not going to have great success early, especially when you're 21.
Yeah, Tyler and I had a conversation after this last homestand. We sat down and discussed a lot of things, from just making the adjustments to understanding that it takes time. Anytime you get called up, you want to have immediate success, and if it doesn't happen, then you're chasing that. But as opposed to chasing it, just stay with the processes really, and continue to work hard and continue to, not allow the offensive side to impact what you can control, which is the defensive side and your effort level. And, so we've engaged in some conversations for sure, and we'll continue to do that.
Ryan Noda, I miss him. I understand it's the jaw it's It's very sensitive, and you have to be very careful because it could get worse if he gets hit the wrong way. Do you think there's a chance we will see him, or do you think that it might be just better for the club to say we'll see you next year?
No, there's a definite chance that we're going to see him. And in that statement too, Townie, one of the things that I tell players is how important it is to just finish a season, whether it's even for the last 7 days. If you can get yourself to a point where you're confident and comfortable coming back from whatever injury that is, that it's great. It's a great feeling just to finish the season. And I think that that's the goal for Ryan right now. We sent him to Arizona with Mason Miller. They'll be there this weekend. Ryan has engaged in some live BP off Mason already. He'll do it again on Saturday with Mason throwing. So both of those young players, I think it's realistic to say that they'll be back to finish our season.
Yeah, up in our A's Cast booth, we got to watch that. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I haven't been hitting, and you're going to give me the treat of, hey, go face Mason Miller and get some at bats. That's it. That didn't seem like any day at the beach.
Yeah, it wasn't, and maybe for Ryan, I mean, the trust with Mason's command and how he throws the baseball is probably more important. But it was fun to see those two compete a little bit, and I'm sure they'll get after it on Saturday in Arizona as well.
What are the expectations for Mason Miller from here on out?
We're going to just build him slowly, and I think we'll do the live BP on Saturday, see how it goes. If it comes out of that well, we may take him into competition at that point and ease him back slowly. But I think the goal, Townie, is to have him throw with us at some point in September.
Yeah, that's another one you talk about, just finishing out. People will be excited about that, just to see him again, know that he's healthy. Let's end on this. It's a National League road trip. It's going to be hot and sticky in D.C. It's going to be hot and sticky in St. Louis. But I think for the most part, what you've seen, your pitching is getting better.
Yeah, and the data behind it, the stats behind it will show that. We've made improvements, and we're going to continue to work hard. Our pitching coaches are relentless in the amount of time and effort, energy they put into this process. They've made a lot of adjustments since April, not just with how we work and how we game plan and how we attack just teaching, really. And I think it's showing itself in the success that we're having. And it all starts on the mound, Townie. We talked about it early in spring training together, and now we're still talking about it in August. And we know, like we did on Wednesday afternoon against a really talented Texas team, pitching won the game. And, pitching and defense are really important at this level. They lead to championships. And, I think that's our focus. And we're going to continue to grind on that side of it and identify these young pitchers that are on the mounds that we feel confident about going forward with.
Great stuff. As always, enjoy D.C. and St. Louis, because St. Louis, obviously, as you know, is a great place to play. And I think all these experiences for the young guys, whether it's Dodger Stadium, playing in Coors Field, playing against the Giants with packed houses, it's all great for these young guys to experience. And then we'll see you back home. So good luck during this road trip, and we'll talk to you back at the Coliseum.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tyler.
It's the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Go to their location in the Bay Area or check them online, nestbedding.com, for your mattress, your sheets, your pillows, all your bedding needs. You go to nestbedding.com.